Happy Father's Day, folks. Happy Hell in the Cell Sunday, and welcome back to WWE Network and Chill, where I, Graham G.S. and Matthews, break down all the original content I watch on the WWE Network and on Peacock. And today we're talking the June 19, 2021 edition of Talking Smack. Obviously, this aired yesterday, right before Hell in the Cell tonight, which is going to be hopefully a good show. Fingers crossed. I would say, honestly, for the most part, a majority of the WWE pay-per-views during the pandemic era, and we're still technically in that, I would say the end of it is going to be Money in the Bank. When I say pandemic era, I mean the pay-per-views without fans. And, I mean, I guess including WrestleMania, that was kind of the outlier, but a majority of them have been pretty good. And I thought this episode of Talking Smack and SmackDown itself on Friday did a pretty decent job of leaving people hopefully looking forward to the show on Sunday. So we were back with Kayla Braxton this week. I don't know where she was last week. Maybe she explained her absence on Twitter or something. I don't know where she was last week. Kevin Patrick filled in for her. And as I talked about in my review of Talking Smack last week, Paul Heyman talked about how, he made a joke about how, I can't understand anything Kevin Patrick is saying. I have no idea what you're saying. I need a translator, blah, blah, blah. We need subtitles, whatever. So Kayla was back this week. And Heyman said that he thought that Kevin was Kayla the entire time. He just, or rather she just came into Talking Smack with a gender reassignment or something like that, and he was just making a dumb joke. And he said right then and there that he actually missed Kevin, which is weird because he told Kevin last week, I actually miss Kayla. That's what he told Kevin last week. Kevin, Kayla, doesn't matter. We're back with Kayla Braxton and Paul Heyman here on Talking Smack, who are the money duo in all of WWE. They work so well together here on the show. I enjoy Kevin Patrick and R-Truth and all the other commentary duos in WWE. But this this talk show host duo of Heyman and Braxton are just great. So they quickly recap SmackDown that saw Bayley lay out Bianca Belair on the show, and with the match being announced now, they were already going to face off for the SmackDown Women's Championship at the pay-per-view. Now it's going to be inside Hell in the Cell. And instead of doing the whole runaround and giving kind of like a diplomatic answer, Heyman just says that he thinks Bayley's going to win. No additional analysis, no anything. He just says, I think Bayley's going to win. Which is surprising, kind of, just because he's so high on Bianca, and every time she's on the show, he sings her praises. He's a big Bayley fan, too, but he said that Bayley was going to win. No additional analysis from Paul Heyman. Kayla wasn't here last week, so this was her first time seeing Otis without the beard, and without the beard, that is. Did I say beard? And she says that he looks a lot meaner without the beard. He was always like this lovable person, this huggable person when he had the beard. Now, new look, new attitude, totally different person. And after running through all the SmackDown stuff, and you could tell that Heyman just wants to get through it so we could talk about the main event that saw Roman Reigns beat Rey Mysterio inside Hell in the Cell to retain the Universal Championship, which was a great match. Heyman really just wanted to talk about that. So when they finally get to talking about Rey and Roman from the show, he says, are you finally ready, Kayla, to acknowledge Roman Reigns as your tribal chief? And she doesn't say anything. He turns to the camera. He goes, I'll take that as a yes. Are you guys ready to acknowledge Roman Reigns as your tribal chief? And he runs down again, as he did on SmackDown, or maybe he was here on Talking Smack. I don't remember where it was. But a few weeks ago, he ran down all the opponents that Roman Reigns has beaten as Universal Champion. He made The Fiend run away from SmackDown, and he's no longer on the show. Braun Strowman isn't even in WWE, and I was surprised, kind of, that Heyman even mentioned that, but he is one to, here on Talking Smack, mention things that probably shouldn't be mentioned. Like, he acknowledged, Charlie Caruso's departure a few months ago, and stuff like that. He acknowledged Christian going to AEW in some form or fashion. And here he acknowledged Braun Strowman being gone from WWE, and after Roman beat him, not directly after, but now he's no longer with the company. He said that we haven't seen Daniel Bryan since. He was banished from the Blue brand after losing to Roman Reigns. And even Edge, after falling victim to the most decisive pinfall in WrestleMania history, has not been seen since and is at home playing Mr. Mom, he said. And reportedly, Edge will be back for a match at the SummerSlam pay-per-view in a few months as a babyface, but not against Roman. Very likely, I would assume, against Seth Rollins. There's history there. That could be a really fun match. So I assume Rollins wins on Sunday, or tonight rather, against Cesaro, and then we get one more time, that match one more time tonight. Rollins wins, and then we get the build starting for Rollins and Edge at the SummerSlam pay-per-view, would be my guess. But yeah, he runs down everyone that Roman has beaten. Now you can add Rey Mysterio to the list. An aggrieved father looking for revenge but still falling short on the Friday before the pay-per-view. And so the first guest that we have on is Shinsuke Nakamura, who is apparently the new king of the ring or king of WWE. I have no fucking clue. He's wearing the stupid crown now. He is officially the king of strong style, which he was already calling himself. But now he is the one true king of WWE, as they say many, many times here on the show. Rick Boogs plays in the background, and he kind of played Nakamura in, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. But then they continue to have Boogs play through the entire segment while Nakamura is talking. It reminded me of like being out for fucking dinner. I don't go to bars and shit, but like when you're trying to talk to someone, you could barely hear what they're saying, even though they're sitting right across from you while there's music blaring in the background. That's what this reminded me of, because Nakamura is kind of hard to understand as it is sometimes. His English is good, but it's not great. So to have Boogs blaring music in the background was not the greatest idea, although I like the creativity there. We don't ordinarily see that here on the show, but it did get annoying after a while. He basically just said, they kind of kept it short and sweet, but he said that there's now no doubt that he is the king of WWE. They wonder, he and Kayla that is, wonder if they can even call him King Corbin anymore. Is he back to being Baron Corbin, whatever? I guess we'll find out next week. Kayla asked if Boogs will teach Nakamura how to play the guitar. I think he said yes, and that was about it. So as the only real thing worth noting about the segment was that as the segment was ending, they accidentally played Nakamura's heel theme while Boogs played in the background, which was cool. But they were playing the theme with lyrics, and I'm like, hopefully that's not a new thing. I think they were playing like the original theme on SmackDown, right? That was probably just an accident, like when they played Rollins' old theme on Talking Smack a few months ago. But yeah, they played Nakamura's heel theme as they went out. I don't know if the production team is drunk or what the fuck's going on over there, but yeah, they played the wrong theme by accident, I would assume. The next person they have here on the show is Adam Pearce, who Heyman is no fan of. He's not fond of Adam Pearce, given their history here on the show from a few months ago during the whole Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns, Adam Pearce triangle feud, whatever. And Adam Pearce said something, and Heyman said, oh, it's not appropriate to flirt with me here on the show. It was something incredibly dumb, and then you just see Pearce like pointing at his ring, and Pearce did not take any shit from Heyman here, which I thought was great. And a lot of people do. Kayla kind of has to because that's her job, but Pearce, as an on-air authority figure, should not be taking any shit from Heyman. He kind of takes shit from Sami Zayn, and that he should have just suspended him right then and there. But Heyman, at least, he attempted to put in his place. And they talk quickly about Owens and Zayn happening at the pay-per-view and how that will have a resolution on Sunday, one way or the other. And Heyman says that Pearce is a conspirator against Sami Zayn, and he calls out him for what he said about how, because Pearce was like, oh, as a WWE official, I'm unbiased, like, I'm excited to see the match. As Adam Pearce, the man, now, of course I'm excited to see Zayn likely get his ass kicked by Kevin Owens on Sunday. Heyman calls him out on that, says he's a part of the conspiracy, and on comes Sami Zayn to the set to call out Adam Pearce for the exact same thing, saying, how could you say that on camera? At least Heyman, he at least had the decency to lie to my face. And Heyman's like, yeah, you're right, I did. It was just a great fucking dynamic. It was amazing. And Zayn was like, how could you be a part of the conspiracy? And, Heyman was doing it behind my back. You're just dumb enough to do it on camera. And they kind of usher off, they kind of brush off Pearce, and he leaves the set. They come back from commercial, and they say that it's Sami Zayn's uncensored time. And in short, essentially, he just said that some people always want to toe the corporate line. Heyman had to do it at one point. Kayla's doing it currently. And he defends Paul Heyman, saying that he at least has the decency, right or wrong, to come on here and speak his mind, not lie, not bullshit, which is inaccurate. At least he's being truthful. He also calls Kevin Owens a corporate rat. Corporate and Owens in the same sentence just do not make any sense, but that's what Sami Zayn says. And he says that worse than anything that Owens has ever done to him, whether it be a stretcher job or Papa powerbombing him on the ring apron like a million times, worse than any of that stuff is being a part of the conspiracy against him. And he says that karma is getting served on Sunday at Hell in a Cell. I've always said that I would love the endgame for the Owens-Zayn feud to be the two reuniting as baby faces and then teaming up. It doesn't look like that's the direction they're going in. They kind of hinted at that going into WrestleMania, though, and saying, oh, I want the Zayn of old. He hasn't mentioned that in a long time, and it probably since WrestleMania, since right before Mania. So I don't think that's the direction they're going in. This is probably just a blow-off, and then they move on. But yeah, this was great stuff from Sami Zayn. He's great with this character. I enjoy the conspiracy stuff. I don't really know how much longer of a shelf life it's going to have which is why I think a babyface turn would be, would help freshen up the character and whatnot. But he is doing a great job with it, I will say that much. Adam Pearce here was good. I thought Nakamura was fine while I lasted. The music in the background was weird. But other than that, this was an enjoyable edition of Talking Smack per usual that successfully set the stage for tonight's Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. So be sure to check it out tonight. Be sure to check out this episode of Talking Smack. And thank you guys for checking out this review of my review of Talking Smack from June 19th, 2021. So be sure to like this video, drop a comment, share the video, and subscribe to the channel for more daily content. If you haven't already, hit the bell button to be notified every time a new video goes up. This last week alone, we had a Dark Side of the Ring review on Dynamite Kid that went up last week. I might, at some point, be reviewing the China documentary. I'm not quite sure yet. I just gotta have to find the time. That went up on Vice on Thursday. So I might review that at some point. Also, this last week, obviously, we had hashtag AskGSM. We had a Low-Key review, Season 1, Episode 2, WrestleRant radio excerpts, not one but 2 exclusive interviews, and more to come this coming week. But this last week alone, we had the new $1 Million champion LA Knight from NXT, and the #1 contender to the Raw Women's Championship tonight at Hell in a Cell, Charlotte Flair, which was great. And both interviews are also available in article form if you prefer that, over on DailyDDT.com, and BleacherReport.com, respectively. So have a great rest of your weekend, guys. Like I said, happy Father's Day. Enjoy Hell in a Cell tonight. I'm Graham G. Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.